Hello, everyone.
Hey guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, evening as usual.
Yes, yeah, except we're a little
Monday.
later than normal today. There was some chaos
Oh
happening
my
for our
God,
commute
yeah,
this morning,
in San
but
Francisco, yeah, but
we
thanks
made it.
God, yeah, we made it.
I hope nobody else had to deal with that. I think I managed to make it okay, fair okay, but Damien unfortunately was stuck on a train for a while, but
For almost 1 hour, yeah.
wow.
It was crazy, but
Yes,
happy to be here
it's
again.
true.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are.
Where are you? Tell us
yeah.
in the comments. We always love it when we see our international friends tuning in.
Yeah.
So, as per usual, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. But for those that are tuning in for the first time, I'm Lindsay Monroe, and I work on the content and community and social team for Adobe XD. And who are you?
I'm Damien Borba. I'm a strategic development manager. I was one of the first product managers on XD in 2015. Oh my God, it sounds like, yeah, it's over 3 years now.
It's wild.
It's insane. And yeah, so my role involves visiting key customers and you, the community. So I work with you guys a lot. I was like at Epicurrence, for example, just one conference, talking to users and grabbing your feedback and organizing it.
Is this shirt from Epicurrence?
Yeah,
It looks like it. So tell us a little bit about the conference you were just at.
Yeah, so I just came back from Epicurrence in Yosemite. Epicurrence was my first time attending that conference, but
they
I heard
have different events, right? This was a specific one.
Actually, it happens in different times of the year, but it all started by Dan Petty and his friends because they wanted to find a reason to snowboard and and have a good time. And so
snowboard at work.
Yeah, so they created this format where you go to this place, to this epic place with your friends. Then you share your stories, and of course you talk about design. But it was awesome. It was a lot more than, for me, it was a lot more than how-tos. How to move pixels, how to pad pixels, as they said there. But it was a lot more about being human and being vulnerable and
making those connections.
Yeah, we made so many. I made so many friends there.
Nice.
It was I had a roommate from Canada.
Oh.
And it was awesome. Matt, if you're watching, that was awesome to meet everyone, and it was epic. We talked about design, of course.
So the conference truly lived up to its name.
Yes.
Oh, very cool.
The place, Yosemite, is insane, right? You have this huge rocks and insane views, and it was super nice. I was able to connect with a lot of the top designers in a very open and human way. It was a lot more than. And it was funny. I was talking to a couple of people there that when they were getting on stage or something, I had this assumption, oh, this guy's gonna be this way, but he was 10 times better, 10 times different, 10 times more human. And I think it was like a confirmation to see that everyone suffers from that imposter syndrome. Everyone has challenges, everyone has difficult times, and hearing stories that way changed the way I saw things. I got so excited about lots of different things. It was really good. So thanks everyone that went there, and Dan Petty for organizing it.
Yeah. Well, there's more to come where that happened. He's got a bunch more events lined up.
Hopefully, yeah.
They are typically in Northern California, though. So
I don't know what the plan is for the next one, but I'm sure I'll be there. And I'll try to bring more people from Adobe to be there. We had so many open conversations, different tools were there, and we had these amazing open, frank, and very, very honest conversations instead of oh, I want to take this or take that. It was really, really awesome.
That's awesome. That's good, because at the end of the day, we just want to hear from designers and sort of what their challenges are and how we can all address them, right? Competition is good.
It was, but it was nice. It was human, so that was epic.
We got a bonjour from Canada.
Oh, nice.
Hello, comment ça va?
Oh, nice. I have no idea. Yeah, probably
hello. I asked how he was doing. Yeah, it was hello.
Cool.
C'est un petit peu français.
The product team is in Montreal this week, Cisco, and then
cool.
So if you're in Montreal, reach out to us and we can maybe connect you guys with the product team there, and hopefully we can do a lot more.
It looks
Canada.
like so. Bill is actually, it looks like he's coming from New Brunswick, which has a pretty large French population. As well.
Nice,
so,
cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I
know Portuguese, a little bit of Spanish, English, but Yeah,
I have terrible French skills,
No French.
but I think I've convinced a few of my American colleagues that I can speak French fluently. So I'm just going to keep up that, mystery, if you will.
Yeah, so just to remember, we're here every Monday, normally at 10 a.m. Pacific, to answer your questions. So this is really for you guys. So if this is a connection to the product team. They're right here. So if you have any questions, sometimes we can even grab people.
Yeah, we can just throw stuff at them and be like, hey.
And they can answer your questions. And we really want to have your feedback helping us shape XD. And go from there. Cool. So what we have today, we have...
Oh, we also have someone from St. John's in Newfoundland. That's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
People from all over the world.
You know, I'm a true Canadian because I called it Newfoundland, not Newfoundland.
Oh, and I met people from Nova Scotia.
Scotia,
great guys.
Nova Scotia's also.
Halifax.
The Maritimes are beautiful. Halifax,
it was so nice, yeah.
It's great.
There were people from, in the conference, there were people from Europe, and it was crazy. People from all over the place. It was awesome.
That's one of the great things about working for Adobe and actually just going to really neat conferences is you get to connect with people from all over the world. You realize that a lot of stuff is really universal.
Yes.
So we have a couple of questions that are actually related to the product and not just about our love of travel and language.
Okay.
So maybe we should get to it. The first
important.
one was about drop-down menus and whether or not that's going to be addressed.
Drop-down menus. That's a great question. The way you can use XD is you can do your design, low fidelity or high fidelity, then you can jump into prototyping, then you can share to get feedback. When you're in prototyping mode, you can almost and we covered this last time, we can almost fake that state. If you want, I can show. Let me do that right now.
It's kind of what we're here for, Damien. Let's make it happen.
Go to my screen here, and I will open XD. And let's say I will create a new file here with that size. And let's say I want that drop down. You can go to File just to create one and not design from scratch. You can get a UI kit, let's say the Wireframes UI kit.
That's a good one.
And I have it here, so let me see if I can find it. Yes, XD sucks. That was crazy. I did a file to get feedback from people. Why not?
Maybe we can show this.
Let's do it.
We can do a really informal poll here.
Yeah, so let's do that.
So Damien was designing some new socks. So maybe for number one, give us the like button.
Yeah, so that's option number one.
Okay, so number one is a like, and maybe Kayla, who's in the comments, can help us here. So like is number one. Number two, which appeals to my Scottish heritage, I would say that we want a heart for that.
Yeah.
So 2 is a heart. What else? 3, I don't know. We're getting the laughing face. That is kind of goofy. They are clown-like.
Yeah.
So 3, laughing face.
Do you have more options there? Yeah.
4, okay. 4, we'll do the wow face.
Awesome.
Are we number 4?
5, crying.
5, we'll do crying. We're really gonna throw our metrics off here. They'll be like, there are so many angry faces on this.
And the last one is angry.
Okay, the last one's angry. The angry sock.
So we're planning to do more socks. They were super popular last year.
Wow, 4. Everybody's digging 4.
Oh, let's see 4 here.
Go back to 4. Yeah, 4 is actually pretty cool.
Pixels Atari, I don't know,
we should go through them one more time just so everybody gets a fresh thing. So 1 is like, 2 is heart.
I love that one.
3 is the laughing face. 4 is the wow. 5 is the cry. 6 is the angry.
Cool.
Okay, cool. Let's see if we actually
pick a winner. Yeah.
Let's pick a winner, guys.
So we're gonna make new socks, and you guys can really help us not only shape the product but also shape socks.
Help us with our sock choices.
And I think I created a link. Let me see here. So I was able to do this my presentation in XD.
Yeah.
Then I created a link for it, and if I open this link, you can vote. And I already did this on Twitter, so people were giving me feedback. And you can see that's also there. So reviewing designs, sock design in XD.
It's amazing the things you can do with this
Yeah,
product. I'm
it's
impressed.
crazy.
Okay,
So
let's go back to the original question around drop-down menus.
Let me open that.
We are like all over the place today.
We're
getting
crazy.
sidetracked by all the fun things that are going on.
Yes. Wires. So you can download the wires for free for web and mobile. I'll grab the mobile one here. And let's open that. And you can see I have lots of use cases. I have a bunch of different places, but I have a drop down here. So let's say I want to have this guy here. So I'll close this, I'll jump to this, and I'll paste. And if I want, as I design, I can activate a grid. So select the artboard by clicking on its title. You can say a square grid or a layout grid, whatever you feel more comfortable with.
Layout grid's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then
Big fan.
Yeah, totally. Then here you can use that grid to, let's say, move things around. Move this guy. Oops. Let me select that guy and I move it to this side, using the grid as a reference there. Okay, now let's say I wanna fake that, so I can, and to be like cover what we did last time. Let me increase this, and I'll move this to the bottom.
So we're really showing off preserve scroll
Yes.
positioning and specifically the prototype mode.
Yeah, but let's say I had something on top of that, like a card or something. So this would be here, right? And I
This
can.
design is really coming together, Damien.
Yeah.
In no time.
Yeah. So something like that, right? And then as I scroll, and you can Command Enter to see. I want to create that drop down look and feel here, right? I want to tap here, go to that, all the options, select, and pick my winner. The way you do that today, next, you have to duplicate the artboard. So here I will, let's say I'll have options. So copy this.
Should we repeat grid that?
Yes. I'll create just one option here. I'll delete this and I'll make this more like a darker blue.
I should have known he would know. I don't know why I'm questioning.
Let's say this is option 1.
Option 1.
And as you suggested, I can select this guy and use the repeat grid tool to repeat all the elements. Let's say 3 options.
3 options are good.
Then I can adjust the padding very easily like that. Then I can say this is going to be option 2. So I'm overriding the contents of the text very easily. Here I have the options, and then let's say I have a third scenario where I have my option selected. So let's say I selected option 1, right? And I will pick that same blue that I had before. So I will get it from here. Nice. So how do I fake the states here, right? So first of all, I need to, I'm in design mode. I need to jump to prototype mode, so I can click there. Then as soon as my user taps on this area, I want it to go to this artboard. And as soon as my user selects option 1, I want to go to this artboard, right? That's the whole goal. And the trick part here, the tricky thing is that if you don't do anything, let me show what happens here. So I have this, because I have scrolling behavior here. If I click here, it takes me to the top of the second artboard.
Right back to the top.
What we want to do here, we want to preserve scroll position. So you can click there to open the HUD here, and you can say, okay, I want to preserve the scroll position. Now, if I scroll all the way down, I'm here on this artboard, and I click, you'll take me to that. So it's almost like it's selected. And I can do also that here. So let's make sure we preserve the scroll position. And even cooler, I can say whenever I tap here, I want to go back to this guy. And yeah, so let's say I start here. Again, go there, open. Let's say I give up. I can go back, open, and then I can click. Pretty much very, very realistic. I just needed 3 artboards. And we're doing more work here with the XD team to make it easier and work around this notion of states.
Right.
And we're gonna prototyping. I'm super excited for prototyping because we'll do a lot of progress this year. And it's super exciting to see what's gonna happen there.
Well, thank you for the question, Jay. Hopefully that's a good workaround for you. Marcin wanted to know, when can we expect swimming elements?
Swimming elements. What is a swimming
I don't know what a swimming element is. One that's not drowning? That was a bad joke. That was really bad. Okay. If we could get some clarity
I think yeah, that's a great question. Maybe it's like fixed elements, meaning that two hypotheses that I have there. One would be fixed elements, so you'll be able to fix element as you scroll, and we're doing the work for that, and it's going to land later this year. It's looking really good. And the other one is as you move, things move a little bit, but not as the same speed, so they're moving, so almost like a parallax effect, and that will take longer. But
parallax effect kind of looks to me.
So just making assumptions here, like, to get the question, and that'll take a little longer.
Like the whole idea of a common design language and how, like, while that could be so common in certain circles, it's not something we're familiar with. But we'd love to hear more, and we'd certainly want to help. So feel free to add in a little more context, and we'll try to revisit that.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. So there was a question actually, which I love, from Julius, who is doing a 2-day idea to prototype quick intro to XD for students in a couple of months. And
Where?
they wanted, it looks like at a school.
In the U.S.?
Yeah, I don't know. Julius, let us know a little bit more if you can.
Stickers,
you can also, why don't you actually send us a direct message on our Facebook page, and we'll see. You know, we like giving students swag. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
okay.
Like
So do we have any resources for teachers? So Adobe has this whole thing called the Education Exchange, and it's a whole bunch of resources which teach educators on how to teach our products. So there are a number of resources like that online, and there are resources for XD in the classroom.
Okay.
Another thing I would advise you to look into is trying to leverage some of our UI kits. It's a really good way to get students started creating their own designs.
You can go to File, get UI kits, and there's
a bunch there.
Yeah, for Apple, for Google Material Design, and Microsoft Windows. Plus the wireframes, the one that I was showing, and the UI kits, like 3, right? There are 3 UI kits. There are 4, I think.
There's 5 technically on this page, and that includes
smartwatch.
It's just like pretty much all the ones that are available.
Dashboard, yes, it's all here for you, and you can literally download and start designing and building your prototypes to validate as fast as possible.
We'll drop a link in the comments to the Adobe Education Exchange, and you can look that up for XD as well as a number of other products, and we'll also look out for your direct message. That would be great.
Yep.
And then we got a hello from the Philippines.
Hello, Philippines.
Anoman seems to be having some trouble with the zoom in XD. It won't zoom on a working artboard. Do you know anything about that? Is that a bug you've encountered?
That's interesting. Can you try to reproduce that? And if you do, go to adobexd.uservoice.com and describe that in details, maybe with a video or a screenshot. You can attach things there so we can take a look. XD zooms in and out super fast, right? It is the fastest UX design tool today. I have that file that has 1,500 artboards, and you can zoom in and out with no problems whatsoever. So that's there. So I'm interested to see why this is happening, and let's make sure we capture that.
Yeah. Another thing I want to throw out there is Fabia said that we need an Adobe XD store full of souvenirs. So a little known secret is adobebrandedmerchandise.com. If you want Adobe branded swag and you're willing to pay for it, there's literally a store.
Stickers.
Yeah, so the amount of XD items that are on there is still quite limited, I'll be honest. I think there are a few things, so you can go poke your way around there, and you may be a fan of some of our other stuff too. So
yeah, it's pretty awesome. They have like so many things, and laptop stickers and
I
everything.
don't think the decks are for sale there. This is a random contribution from an XD team member.
Notepads and everything else. Yeah, it's pens, and there's a lot of stuff there.
All right, cool.
So
we had a contest last week.
The last one of a series, right?
Yeah, a last one of this particular series, but we are far from done from the design challenges. There will be lots, and we're giving away lots of really good prizes. But let's round up the last of the 5 in the series that we did. So we have 3 folks that submitted a homepage design using the Wires UI kit, which is the kit that Damien just used for his latest demo.
What is it? This one.
Yeah.
Right here.
And the challenge was to design just a basic homepage using the UI kit,
Yes.
get you in. And again, and we mentioned this with all our design challenges, we're really there to just inspire you to get in and using Adobe XD. We're not assessing designs on their merit or look or anything like that. We're really randomly selecting folks based on a couple of hashtags that we put out there. So we have 3 winners that are going to be the recipients of a 1-year subscription to Creative Cloud.
Yes.
That's like a good value too,
Oh my
and you
God,
get all the
yeah.
apps.
Photoshop, Illustrator, XD, Premiere, Dimension,
This is like
InDesign.
a good test. Can you name them all?
I don't think so.
No, I feel like
We have
that's like
so much.
I feel like that would be like.
So let's see: Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, XD, Premiere, After Effects, Dimension, Lightroom Classic, Portfolio, Spark, Acrobat, DC, Behance, Dreamweaver, Muse, Animate, the old Flash Professional, Character Animator, which is super cool. You can animate characters there. Audition, Bridge,
Media Encoder, it goes on. Like the list is too. Anyway,
It's a
and that
big
doesn't
list.
even include things like Typekit and some of the other add-ons that you get as a result.
Creative
Anyways,
Cloud for your library, so you can have your assets accessible anywhere.
the question is, can you use them all?
Yeah.
We don't actually expect most people to use them all, but
Yes.
there's very few powerful apps that when used in conjunction with each other, you're kind of unstoppable.
Yes.
I always like there's that whole statement where it's just like powerful alone, unstoppable together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Or like the Avengers.
Yeah,
or something.
totally.
I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
so let's see the winners.
Winner, chicken dinner.
All right,
We
so
have
the first winner is Anna.
We'll go with Anna. Okay.
And she created this
Travel website.
travel website using the
Homepage.
wireframes UI kit.
People love the travel websites, I think, because there's like this.
All right, yeah,
People like to travel.
I think that's
Okay.
one of the best things in life.
It is pretty good.
And then she gets 1 year, all apps.
Yep.
Then
Next.
the second one is Paul Brophy.
Brophy.
Yeah, he designed this prototype. Let's take a look. And if you guys see the link, you can add comments here. Yeah, you can scroll.
Looking good.
Nice.
Looking good.
Very, very good wireframe design.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Again,
I'm impressed.
yeah, I'm really impressed with this one. And the last one, Fiona.
Fiona.
And she designed this one in full screen mode. Look at that. She knows how to share in full screen mode. Oh,
Wow.
nice.
Looking good.
Very good.
Wow.
Very good. Well deserved.
Yes.
Randomly selected. Well
but
deserved.
well deserved. We appreciate all of you folks for entering, participating. Like I hinted to before, we have more design challenges in the works. We're taking a break next week, but not really taking a break because we've got a lot of great stuff in the works.
Yes.
So stay tuned for a whole lot more exciting news next week and design challenges to follow. Cool. So the last thing we wanted to touch on today, and we only have a couple of minutes to get it done, was you were going to talk a little bit about.
Yeah, I was gonna
symbols?
talk about symbols, and we got lots of amazing questions. So just before I get into symbols, I just wanna talk about this one. So we have user voice, Adobe XD.uservoice.com. We have forums, Adobe forums, and people can send questions there for us to answer live. And that's another thing. So if you have questions, please use those channels to send us or Twitter or anything. So I just want to talk about this one specifically because it's really related to that. For example, this person is using a website design in full screen mode as a link, and we had a change in behavior recently because before, I don't know if you guys remember, but if I escape here, this is scrolling, but initially a couple months ago, this would resize to accommodate your design. So this was true for regular mode and full screen mode. So based on a lot of feedback, just to answer that question, why the thing changed, or why the behavior changed, if you go to full screen mode now, instead of resizing, we're showing this comp at its full size. So there's no distortion here, mainly because if you want to test and show a website, this looks a lot more like a website. You don't even notice it's not a website, it's just a prototype, right? So that's the reason that was there. But if people are getting confused, like this guy here, we really want to understand where the confusion is and I think being able to demo your website full screen was something really, really necessary for website design and website prototyping, and that's why we took that route. So if you want to resize, you just show in like regular mode, and if you don't want to resize, like have it a full screen mode, then you go full screen, and then everything will be pixel perfect, no distortions whatsoever.
Great.
No resizing whatsoever.
We actually have a couple more questions that we can tackle into. So.
And we do symbols next week.
Yeah, well, that's okay. It's been great. This is what we're here for, is to answer your questions and things like that. So I'm glad we're able to do that for you. So how can Trifon was asking, how can I create a motion such as a carousel in a prototype with moving articles from left to right tab?
Yes, we don't have horizontal scrolling yet, but we are doing the work to support such animations, and it's looking really good. It'll take us some time. Like we had to replan a lot of pieces, and the rendering engine has to be super fast, not only on the preview window, but it has to be fast and precise to support that on the web, on the mobile apps, iOS and Android. So that's it's going to take a while, but we're doing a lot of work to support that, and it's looking good. So we're calling it micro interactions, micro animations. So animations within the same artboard, and so that's coming.
So more to come on that.
Yes.
On that note, one of the pieces of feedback we've gotten here from Gel is they feel that there's a lack of communication on what to expect in the short, middle, and long term for XD, and that while user voice is helpful, is there more that we can speak to in terms of feature path and how we're trying to communicate this with users? Yeah,
we're trying our best to communicate everything, and because we follow this iterative design process, so like we literally live it here. It's hard to plan like too much, like 1 year, 2 years. We're really focused on delivering the right value, doing our best here to deliver the best value possible, test every single thing. Sometimes things don't work perfectly, and we make some changes, like the eyedropper that we have in both places now. So we're really iterating a lot, and the in user voice you can see what features are, like the features that you want, if they're started, if they're in the backlog, if they're completed, it's all there. We also have us here, right?
We also have a pretty aggressive release cycle, so every month we're pushing out new features, and I think it's like Damien said, it's just making sure they're to the point where they're performant and they work, and I think quality and performance has been a huge defining
and I heard so much, like at Epicurrence last week, I heard so many times by many different, like by a lot of people, my favorite feature in XD is performance.
Yeah, it doesn't crash a lot.
It's super fast. It doesn't get in your way, right? You can do your design as fast as possible. You can zoom in and out as fast as possible. It's very, very smooth, very powerful. And if you want to learn about specific features, where they are, ask here, ask on Twitter. We can totally say. But one thing that I can give my perspective is that this year we're going to do a lot more progress on prototyping.
We can definitely hone in on that. But don't be afraid. Like, we really take pride in how we're trying to engage with the community and take your feedback, and that includes, like Damien said, our show here every Monday, user voice, Twitter. The team is really active, and if you go to the official at Adobe XD Twitter account and look at our list, we have a list of a bunch of team members that are active on Twitter. You can literally tweet at them directly for answers, so please don't hesitate to reach out if there's anything you want or you're looking for.
This is the list. You can see the people there. So just go to lists, and that's the list, 14 members, and we're all there. You can ping us, you can follow us, and we're here to answer your questions and try to be as open as possible. That's one of the principles of XD, right? Being transparent, and we're gonna pursue that, keep doing that.
Maybe this is actually Sabine had thrown out there. Would it help with a visual overview of the progress, like what is a sprint, etc.? Maybe this is something like we can tackle at an upcoming stream. We can bring in someone who really like owns a design sprint and can talk about what that looks like for XD.
Every squad does it in a specific way. It's awesome. Let's do it.
Thank you,
So
Sabine.
just
That's great.
one thing there, we use XD to validate major features, and we call it inception, right? Like XD inside XD. Appception, yeah. Appception.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Hey Damien, one other branch of this issue is that only screens linked to another screen on prototype mode are shown on design specs. Since we don't have some features to overlay animations, I sometimes need to create a separate screen with an overlay, and that only shows if it's linked to something.
Yeah,
do you understand
that's a great point. So this is, I think, even more related to this bug there that was filed, is that if you create a file and there is no connection to any other artboard, then if you have lots of artboards like a presentation, you can share the link and all the screens get published. But if you link one to another, let's say only two artboards are connected, now only those two will be published.
Got it.
And that's what's happening there. So if you really want to have that scenario, have all the screens, I would say link them. Like it's how it's there today, and if this grows as a feature request, we can take a look at the experience, maybe change that. But for now, I would say just link them. Like I have presentations and link to prototypes. It's pretty cool because I have two slides linked to each other. Then I get to my prototype, and then I keep going with my slides, and it's pretty
great.
Yeah. So
it's a presentation within a presentation
with a prototype inside.
The appception continues.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that's it for today. We got one question. I think it's what about Zeppelin integration? So currently that is available on Apple's OS, but it's being worked on for Windows.
Yes, there's a whole plan for Windows, and we know that most users for Zeppelin use Mac, and it's there now. Not only Zeppelin, but Avocode, Protopie for that. Maybe if you want to do horizontal scrolling today, you could use Protopie and Kite, and it's all there. But there's another area that we're going to make more progress is extensibility. And we thought of it since day one. So plugin developers, get ready. It's coming.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us today. We will be back next Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, unless we have train problems again. But we always aim to be on in around 10. We always schedule in advance, too, so just pay attention to that, and then you'll get notified when we're live. Thanks again. If you liked what you saw today, give us a like or a share, and we'll be back next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.